Hello, Mr. Ferraro. How are you this fine summer evening?
Mr. Cooper, should we keep up the illusion that we've been hanging out a lot?
Yes, we should keep that illusion up. It was great to see you every day, all the time.
Yeah, I love that barbecue we did, and then when we got our children together and they had academic stimuli.
That happened, and they both read Catcher in the Rye in its entirety, and they're 4 years old, so that was good too. They had a lot to talk about.
Well, listen, happy Sunday. I heard a great quote. It's from Mrs. Baffuto, formerly known as Miss Flota. June is a Friday, July is a Saturday, and August is a Sunday. And if you could work that into a college essay, I think it's pure poetry. So happy Sunday, everybody.
Yeah, I have the Sunday blues.
No, we're stoked to go back. We're talking college essays.
I'm excited. I'm excited to go back and to wrap up the next 4 videos in the next very short weeks we have.
Yeah, this is the time where the kids say, "Wow, that's so great. We don't have summer reading heading into senior year." Oh, wait, we had to draft and get better at college essays.
And I'm sure they're all doing that. I'm sure our seniors have been working hard, and they won't do it the morning of. By any means, I don't know about you. I'm collecting those day one. I'm collecting them, so I hope they have them.
100% collecting them day one. We really gave them a break with the optional summer reading. You can still read summer and talk books. Mr. Cooper and I will talk that maybe in a later episode, but 100% collecting them day one. They need to be typed. They need to be as good as possible. People look at it as drafts and they say, "Oh, it's just a rough draft." No, 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 no. That's a way overblown kind of misconception. To me, it's your best possible essay now. And I think that's very important for everyone listening to understand. It's not, "Oh, it's just a draft." It's, this is the best product you can do at this time before getting teacher feedback.
And I hope they don't fail to do that, which segues into tonight's topic, Mr. Ferraro.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, the topic is failure. The second Common App essay prompt reads, and I believe I posted this on the YouTube channel in the description, recount an incident or time when you experienced failure. How did it affect you, and what lessons did you learn? And this is my favorite essay prompt. Want to know why?
Of course I do.
Because if it does not lead to the cliche answer that most people are going to write, it has the potential to present some really amazing writing and some great stories to share. As long as we can avoid that cliche.
Yeah, and I think the way you go cliche hunting, if you work reverse, is what would everybody write? And it would be something like, "I got cut from the team, I worked really hard, and I made the team the following year." And that's a fine story, and it's important not to make light of it, but do not skip the middle part. What did you actually learn from it? Just getting the end result doesn't mean it's a success. What did you learn?
I think it's important, too, to read the subtext here of this question. I think what the question really is asking is, how do you respond when you don't get what you want?
Yes.
When things don't go your way, how do you behave? What is your response? And, what are you willing to take risks and try things that might actually fail?
I absolutely
and those
love
things
yes.
shouldn't be, "Oh, I didn't make the honor roll in 8th grade, and I cried so hard that night." It shouldn't be that. That's a bad essay. Bad essay.
I love exactly how you said that. What do you do when you don't get your way? The other way I like to look at it is, I don't know if it's still there, but it used to be on the Common App. It said reaction to setbacks, and you had to rate the student and how they reacted to a setback. And that's that word grit. If you Google failure or grit or reaction to setbacks or those type of things, I like how you said it. It's all the buzz. A couple years ago, and it's still hanging around. Every college administrator wants to see that. How do you react to it? I don't know if we're sponsored by Domino's, but Domino's Pizza recently had that commercial where they changed their poster in their corporate offices that says failure is an option. We want you pursuing great things, and with that is going to come some failure. Domino's has made a lot of mistakes, but they've been around a long time, and it's not great pizza. But failure is an option. We want you to try that. We're talking 20% project. We're talking essay. Try things. Fail, and then how do you react?
Yeah, I just wanted to point out that Domino's did not fail in keeping the Noid away from the pizzas. I don't know if you catch that reference, Mr. Ferraro.
I do, but I don't. I think that may be lost on 2014 kids.
And I think, and I know you use this article too. I like to bring an article into some of my classes about the importance of failure and how failure affects people's and failure is a part of life. And I believe you asked the question, Mr. Ferraro, does everyone deserve a trophy? And I think if the answer to that question is, well, yes, and I failed and tried hard, then that's not the essay I want to see. I'd much rather see what has failure done to you as a person besides to make you determined to work harder and be better next time. What have you learned as a human being that you're destined to fail somehow, somewhere in your life? How do you deal with that adversity? As opposed to, oh, I tried harder, I cried, and my mom made me feel better, things like that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And with all our essay advice, we're trying to talk about avoiding the cliche. And how do you separate yourself? You can separate yourself a lot of different ways, but one is with fresh language. And one of the simplest ways to look at it is the sentence that you wrote something that someone else could have written and attached their name to? So try to be a little bit fresh, maybe not on the first draft, but that second draft, can each sentence be improved quite a bit by one verb or a better word choice or things like that? At this point, if you're just starting the essay, the mind's a little rusty. You got to get going a little bit. You probably haven't read or written something too strenuous in a while. Get it going a little bit and start playing with language a little bit.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the idea of drafts here too. That's something I like to stress as well, the importance of drafting and coming in September with something that has been refined a little bit. And granted, what that is might not yet be sent to the colleges, but it's something else we can all continue to work on. But there is an essay that I will be using in my classes, a narrative essay by Rogelio R. Gomez called Foul Shots. And this is an essay I like to use because I think it covers every single one of many of those questions on the Common App. I'm just going to read the introduction, and maybe we can see the connection to failure here.
Okay.
Now and then I can still see their faces, snickering and laughing, their eyes mocking me. And it bothers me that I should remember. Time and maturity should have diminished the pain because the incident happened more than 20 years ago. Occasionally, however, a smug smile triggers the memory, and I think I should have done something. Some act of defiance could have killed and buried the memory of the incident. Now it's too late. And I like the way that begins because it isn't something that says, oh, I can do better next time. It's something that says, I should have done something about something that occurred. I'm not going to go too much into it, but it's something, it's the idea I could have done something, it's too late, and now I'm hooked. I want to know what exactly happened that's affected his life and how could he have done things differently. And I think that's always part of failure. How could I have done things differently? But it is too late at some point.
Yeah, and this might be the time to to pump the brakes just a bit on and giving a little bit of a warning and saying we're not getting too deep here. If you had nice work, if you had a really life-changing, depressing, sad event happen, that doesn't mean that this has to be the essay for that.
Yeah.
We're not asking you to pour out your soul. But I like the word regret. If you're the kind of person that says, I have no regrets, let's go, let's live, this is probably not your essay. You know, I don't know about you, but I do have regrets. I'll be very honest with you. I'm 36 years old. There's things I regret. I don't dwell on them, and they don't affect my life in a negative way. But 100% I would go back and do things differently. And the kids today that say they don't, I admire that. That's a fresh approach. I love that. Oh, I don't regret anything. You might over time, or you might not. Maybe it's my problem. But if you're introspective and you think about things that you could have done differently, this is a great essay for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I keep coming back to this. It's not something that's I did it better next time and I fixed it. Maybe that might be true in, elementary school, maybe middle school, or maybe it is true that you work harder next time to win the championship next year, or you do your homework more and you finally pass that class and things like that. But life is going to bring you failures that you don't always bounce back from, and I think that builds character. And it's how do you deal with it? How do you handle that? And that's really the essay. What happens when things don't go your way and when you fail at taking risks? That's really what we want to watch, or what we want to read, not the story that everybody writes. And I can tell you, last year, at least 12 of my seniors wrote this essay, and most of them were about not making the honor roll or losing a game.
Got it. And if you're seeing a pile of those, then you can multiply that, and the college admission counselors are seeing a pile of those as well.
I can't speak for the college admissions counselors. I know that I would get bored reading those and not want to read them. I'd look for the more interesting stories here. So if that's what you're going to write about, I didn't make the honor roll, don't write this essay. That's my advice. Do not write this essay if you don't have that story.
I didn't get the lead in the play. I didn't make the baseball team. What about those guys?
Again, where's it going? I didn't make the baseball team, but I tried really hard and made it. Or I didn't make the baseball team and I threw a fit. Or I didn't make the baseball team and I was really sad. I mean, where is it going?
I realized that I didn't work hard enough, and I completely redefined the definition of what hard work really means. And even though it was my senior year or junior year and my baseball career is over, I went on to bigger and better things with that work ethic in mind.
That's better. Still not uncommon. I wouldn't say it's as cliche, but it's definitely a common thing to see.
Got it. And off the top of your head, because what would a Google Hangout be without putting someone on the spot? Off the top of your head, what would be some great example of this essay working?
Are you asking for my example, the essay I would write?
It's tricky because people ask us that all the time. What would you write? But as 30-somethings, it's like, would we write about something that actually happened after we applied to college, or would we go back in time to high school? It's a tricky space-time continuum thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I can say this is right. If you want to pursue science as a career, this is right up your alley, because what is science but, failure after failure after failure in order to pursue some higher knowledge. You got to have the mindset for this experiment's going to fail. This research might something will fail somewhere along the lines. Personally, not getting into certain colleges might work for. I mean, maybe not for this, but maybe not finding the job I wanted or at first. My search for a teaching position met with failure after failure to earn some position somewhere, and definitely humbled me in the real world, so to speak.
Yeah, and I feel like I should, share a little bit too if you're going to be bearing your soul there. So I had a coaching experience playing for a coach that I didn't like and I blamed and I thought was horrible, et cetera, et cetera. But I look back and I say, it really was how I adapted to the situation that would cause the failure. I could have done a lot of things differently. I could have not placed blame. I could have looked inwardly, and looking back that way, there's some places I could go there with that situation.
Yeah, absolutely. And yet I would not end it with, and now I'm better for it. Something a little bit different that makes it sound like it was a learning experience, but it's an experience you accept as well. Something that makes you a more well-rounded person. If you've never experienced failure, like big-time, long-term failure, then what have you done?
Yeah, you're not, you see that Twitter piece, if your dreams aren't big enough that people are laughing at them, that kind of thing. But there's some truth to it. This is great stuff. I miss these hangouts, so I'm glad to see you again.
Well, we'll have to do another one very soon.
I agree.
No,
And for the thousands,
we have to do another one very soon. Where our time is short. I
for the
expect it to be
hundreds
finished by
watching,
August 5th.
where can they send their inquiry emails if they are completely stuck at this point and have watched all 3 videos?
They can email us at valhallaenglish@gmail.com, or they can email the individuals at jferraro@valhallaschools.org and cooper@valhallaschools.org.
Great stuff. Any closing words of wisdom on the...
No, I'd just like to point out some summer reading selections of mine. I like short stories, so I'm revisiting the work of H.P. Lovecraft, Call of Cthulhu.
Of course, of course.
You know, there's my real, inner nerd coming out screaming right there. What about you, Mr. Ferraro? What are you reading more particularly?
I have a summer reading book that I took down close by. It's a very literary classic. Pete Carroll, coach of the Seattle Seahawks, Win Forever. This happens to be the autographed edition. I did polish off this book as a coach. I also read Mindset by Carol Dweck, which basically says you either can learn your whole life or you believe that you can't get any smarter. Tons of stuff on some blogs, but there were the 2 books that I read right now. I might be forgetting one other one.
Can I see that Pete Carroll book again?
Can't wait to hear this.
Can you open it up to what he wrote there? Does everyone see the irony of that statement with tonight's video? Does everyone understand the irony there?
It's August. Irony is a very complex term for our students right now. You guys are going to rock it out. I can't wait to see these essays. I'm fired up. The volume in my house is because my wife and kids are away. Don't tell anybody.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, it's not. I missed them terribly.
Recommended viewing Weird Al Yankovic's video Word Crimes, a parody of Blurred Lines. I recommend that.
Not too snarky
video.
for you?
What?
Not too snarky for you?
Oh, no, not at all. It's right up my alley.
Okay, and then finally, I didn't see the movie. I'm great at recommending things I didn't see. A home run for sure. Don't spoil it because I haven't seen it. Boyhood, Richard Linklater.
I did not see that. I opted for Guardians of the Galaxy, which was incredible. Awesome movie.
Okay, I think we should wrap it up so people don't get too sick right now, sick into their stomach right now.
All right, I'm going to hit the stop broadcast button, and then we'll pick apart what just happened. See you later,
Awesome.
folks.
Let's do it.
A new video soon.